What's up, everyone? Kevin Allen here from DFS Army, and it's NFL Week 5, and this is your Fanduel First Look lineup. Let's do this. All right, we're taking a look at the pricing on Fanduel for NFL Week 5, and of course, I don't even really like to start to build lineups or get into it too deep until I get a general sense of the slate. So let's jump over to the odds tiles over on the Sharp app, sharp.app, and we'll take a look at some of the odds for these games, starting with Titans at Washington, 42.5 point total. Titans are 2.5 point favorites. Now, really important, I like running backs who are favored. So if we're ever going to be playing Derrick Henry, he's very, very much sensitive to if his team is favored or not. It's how it is. But so Derrick Henry becomes interesting in that spot. All the Washington usual suspects. At some point, can Terry McLaurin actually have a good game? I don't know. Not even sure if it's possible. But Jahan Dotson probably out for this one. So if it was ever going to happen, it might be here. Houston at Jacksonville, and Jacksonville all the way up to a top 5 team in Statsational power rankings over here on the Sharp app, actually. And that's crazy. Jacksonville actually good this year. Houston is a team that you can run on. So I guess James Robinson, it's hard to trust Jacksonville to lean on a single running back, but I think all of the Jacksonville offense is somewhat interesting in this spot. Even T-Law, Trevor Lawrence. Why not? Why not? Why not Christian Kirk? There's a few interesting spots in that game, even though the total is on the low side. The team total for Jacksonville is high enough that it doesn't matter. We got Chicago at Minnesota. Chicago is a team that's always going to be close. Minnesota heavily favored at home. This just stinks of Dalvin Cook. You know, it's a running back style setup. Saquon Barkley absolutely torched Chicago last week. So let's keep our minds on Dalvin Cook this week. I'm not interested in Chicago. Anybody from maybe Khalil Herbert, I guess, but maybe. Let's see where his salary is. Detroit at New England. I'm not chasing Jared Goff this week, guys. I'm not doing it. Patriots are favored at home. They're a good defense, 45 point total. If anything, we want to target the Patriots offense or, more importantly, the Patriots running backs. Let's not forget that Rashad Penny, who plays a similar role to Damian Snacks Harris for the Patriots, absolutely torched the Lions last week. Ramondre Stevenson, pass catching back, also of interest for the Patriots. I wish they didn't split the touches, but that gets us very, very low tournament ownership on the Patriots to running back. So again, we keep them in mind. Seattle at New Orleans. Again, I am not chasing Geno from last week. It happened. I think it was more the defenses. With that being said, Seattle defense, very, very bad. Saints, will they get Kamara back this week? I'd be interested, maybe, I guess, kind of, in Kamara. If not, maybe Olave. I don't even know who the quarterback for the Saints is. Is it Dalton? Is it going to be Jameis? No clue. It's too early in the week. All right, Patriots. Miami at New York Jets, 44 point total. Miami, 3.5 point road favorites. Teddy Bridgewater at the helm. You know, I think that there's some interest in this game. Miami plays pretty good defense, but the Jets are at home. You know, I'm definitely interested in Miami defense. I'm not fooled into thinking that Zach Milfson is good. I didn't even think he played that great against the Steelers, to be honest. I thought he played kind of bad, but had a nice drive at the end of the game. He did not put a full, if you watch the game, it was not a full game put together. On the flip side, Teddy Bridgewater looked just fine and like a perfect replacement for Tua in this Miami offense. He looked fine. I think the pieces from Miami, sure, why not? The one that I think is the sneakiest is Raheem Mostert, Rocket Raheem, because I don't know if this is a trend that will continue, but Mostert the last couple of weeks has clearly taken sort of the lead back role, with Chase Edmonds being more of the 30% guy for this Miami offense. The Jets are not very good against running backs. They allowed 3 touchdowns to Chubb. They're not bad. Their defense is actually just fine, but it's not a defense where you need to go out and purposefully target running backs against them. Not like Detroit, but or Houston. Keep it in mind. But still, it's the Jets. Miami's a favorite, and it's a running back on a favorite that's super cheap. All those things are interesting. Atlanta at Tampa, 48-point total. Angry Brady. This is a narrative I like. Tampa is going to put it on the Falcons in this game. Brady coming off that loss, he's not happy. The Bucs, though, do have their entire sort of weapons group healthy for the most part. And I don't consider Julio. Leo is always hurt. He might even be healthy. I don't even buy it. I don't believe he can even get through a game, but whatever. But Godwin seems fine. Had a couple of moments in the game last week where you're like, oh, did he re-injure? But then he was back in there. Mike Evans looks like a beast. So I'm interested in Brady, his pass catchers, and Leonard Fournette, the whole deal. And I want nothing to do with Atlanta. Outside of maybe Kyle Pitts is underpriced in some spots, but man, they're gross. They're gross. But Kyle Pitts is probably playable in that one, and that's about it. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Buffalo 14-point favorites, getting ready to put a beating on the Steelers. Not much to say here except that even in blowout situations, Josh Allen just tends to get his points. Josh Allen still should project for 25 plus in this game. Maybe we could take a look at Devin Singletary, though, because maybe the running back would get some usage. But I could also see them just going with Moss or these other running backs once they're ahead by 21. So a little bit of risk in that game, other than Josh Allen is probably a very good play. But he's also the most expensive play on the slate. Moving over, Chargers, Cleveland, 47.5-point total. It's come down a little bit since the open. I think it was at 48 or 48.5. Not sure why that would move, but the Chargers are 3-point road favorites. And, it's coming off the big game for Austin Eckler. Mike Williams had a nice game last week. Keenan Allen's the key cog for the Chargers for me. If he's in the game, then you almost can't play anybody in their pass catching corps. If he's out, then the offense does concentrate a little bit more with Williams. Interesting tournament play. Eckler smashed last week, so do with that what you will. He's still a little overpriced for me on FanDuel. Cleveland side, again, I just find Nick Chubb's salary to be a little bit difficultly high, especially as an underdog. It doesn't appeal to me. Maybe some mild interest in Amari Cooper there, but not a ton as an underdog at home. San Francisco at the Panthers. San Francisco, the way they dominated the Rams this week, their defense is looking stout. With Jimmy G at the helm, Deebo Samuel seems to be transforming back into 2021 Deebo Samuel, and that player was a beast. So he's massively underpriced on FanDuel. I want to keep Deebo in mind. That's my right punk, Deebo Samuel. On the Carolina side, no, nothing. Christian McCaffrey is always somebody that I'm interested in, but other than that, it's a big zero, that offense. Game of the week, and for me, a surprisingly low total on this Eagles-Arizona game, 49.5 points. Eagles, 5-point road favorites. Eagles, number two in the Statsational NFL Power Rankings over on the Sharp app. Make sure you check that out. It's really important stuff too. But the Eagles, they look like they're going all the way. Yeah, they're number 2 to the Bills, but it's Eagles-Bills. We getting an Eagles-Bills Super Bowl? A little Northeastern. Anyway, they're taking on the Cardinals. I really like this game from the Eagles side of it. I'm not in love with the Arizona side. Eagles defense, very, very good, but Cardinals at home. Cardinals offense is not that good. They're a bit of a mess. So I'm much more interested in the Philadelphia side of this game. Miles Sanders coming off a huge game. Can you repeat it? I don't know. And how about, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith just being pieces of interest this week? All right. The last game on the main slate, we've got Dallas at the Rams. Dallas are actually 4.5-point underdogs on the road. Rams I guess I'll call it a get-right spot. What we've learned about the Rams this year, and this is a weird line. I think it should be closer. But what we learned about the Rams is Allen Robinson seems washed, and they don't have another weapon. So they're basically the Cooper Kupp show. They desperately need a weapon. Their running backs have not just been good at all. And outside of Cooper Kupp, they have, and it's been the Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee show. So if we want to target this game, it's Cooper Kupp and Higbee. But this 43.5 point total is kind of low. Dallas defense, kind of good. And I'm just not, I'm not into it. As a matter of fact, the side, maybe the Dallas side interests me more, but not really. I don't really like to target Rams defense, even though they haven't been great. They're still a good defense, but maybe I'm still fresh off of the showdown where the Rams just look terrible. And maybe as the week moves on, I'll change my mind. But as of right now, I'm not that into it. So there we go. Now let's take a look at the FanDuel scoring system. And again, before we do that, if you like this content, let me remind you, make sure you've liked the channel and you subscribe to the channel. A lot of people who watch these videos are not subscribed. You're not going to get all the stuff that we do. There's a showdown breakdown tomorrow. I literally just won a showdown last night. We do these showdown breakdowns. Where is it? I won that bad boy last night. We do these showdown breakdowns. We do main slate breakdowns every DFS. There we go. Boom, coming off the big win. But you want to have the channel, so you want to be subscribed to the channel so you get these videos. We're breaking it down for you every day. And of course, you want to be able to use the tools over at DFS Army. So make sure you get signed up at DFS Army using promo code Geek. That gets you 10% off VIP, everything we do. So let's take a look at the NFL main slate, not this showdown. I don't want the showdown. I want the main slate. And let's just cue that up. And we're going to take a look at the quarterback position. And we already mentioned a couple names here. So Josh Allen in the blowout game, probably worth paying all the way up for. It's fine. It's fine. So blowout though, so be careful. Maybe, it could go a lot of different ways, but there's a massive team total for the Bills. And Allen could easily put up 30, 35 plus before the team takes the foot off the gas. Jalen Hurts in a more competitive game, he's doing it with the legs. He's averaging just a couple points less per game compared to Josh Allen. I think Hurts is a great play. Justin Herbert's a little tougher for me to get behind here. Lower total game at Cleveland. Cleveland plays a slow brand of offense, so be more of a GPP only play. Not somebody I want to use for this. Kyler Murray is not a safe play, especially against a good defense. I wouldn't touch that. Jared Goff priced up. Hell no. Tom Brady's interesting here at 7,800. So we're saving about 80, not a little bit. It's not that much, but we're saving a little bit over the elite tier. Probably not enough to move the needle for me. At this point, I'm hanging out with I'm probably hanging with Hurts unless somebody else comes along that floats my boat. Trevor Lawrence is somebody I'm interested in this week. I don't know if I'd play him in my primary sort of first look lineup here, but Jacksonville's good. Houston's bad. Why not? Let's make lots of money. Remember that song? I've got the brain. You've got the looks. I've got the brains. Let's make lots of money. All right. It's from the 80s. I'm old. I'm not that old, but I remember. It's an awesome song. Where was I? Matt Stafford is dead to me. I'm just letting you guys. He's off the list forever, or at least until he proves otherwise. Zach Wilson, GPP, large mass multi-entry situation. Cousins, Minnesota, Chicago, not a game environment you want to target the passing on. Ooh, Wentz at 6,800. Yeah, okay. I'm not, I'm not putting. I don't think I'm utilizing that for this. But 6,800 is enough savings, 2K, that it makes sense potentially to pay down in a spot like that. The last spot, actually, that's interesting, and I think he's almost playable in this lineup, in a cashy kind of like high-level lineup, is Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater looked just fine at the helm for the Dolphins. He's never been a guy that's going to get you a massive score, 193 yards. And, Tua went out kind of early in that game. So this is let's say it's kind of a full game's worth of production. At 6,400, he needs to get 6, 12, 18, 20 fantasy points to be GPP relevant, GPP winning relevant, compared to 1927 points for Hurts. I'm sticking with Hurts. In the end of the day, if you don't want Hurts here, we can go with Josh Allen, but I'm sticking with Hurts. I like the competitive game environment a little bit better. All right, running back position. And on FanDuel, I say this every week, touchdowns are king. Having good running backs, but having good touchdown scoring running backs, very, very important. And right off the bat, again, Nick Chubb at 9,400, not going to do it. It's too expensive. 9, 18, 27. He's got to get us 28, 29, which is wildly difficult using the FanDuel scoring system. He's just priced up too high. I like Chubb, but he's a split in time. He's a 55% back. No. And an underdog, even more no. Austin Eckler, again, can he repeat what he did last week? I'm skeptical. So, I mean, I guess maybe is the way I would put it, but he's more of a DraftKings guy for me, and I don't like that he's the most expensive. I do like Derrick Henry at 8,900. I think of the trio, Derrick Henry is actually a little bit more interesting. Wish he was playing at home. Wish he was favored. Is he favored? But either way, I don't hate it. I think it's fine. Christian McCaffrey, rough defense to go up against. McCaffrey can always get you there, though. Jamal Williams now priced all the way up at 8,300. I think he's unplayable here. I like Jamal, but no. James Robinson, the aforementioned, he has done nothing. Like, it is weird. James Robinson's done nothing for this price high. We just play him on DraftKings where he's relatively cheaper. The dichotomy between FanDuel and DraftKings salaries, especially running back, is crazy this week. And I don't know what's going on, but having Jimmy Robinson, I get the matchup is good, but my boy doesn't get all the carries. Like, he only had 8 carries last week. No. That's a DraftKings play. I don't think I can pay this much for him. Or at least outside of large format GPP. By the way, anybody's playable in a massive large field GPP. But the lineup I do in these first looks, I like it to kind of replicate something I might do like in a handcrafted, maybe 200, 300 entry tournament, right? Not a milli maker. All right, Leonard Fournette, I do like here at 7,800. I actually think this is a smash spot for Fournette. The only concern I have is a little bit more usage for Rachaad White this past week. I got to see if there's any sort of injury situation going on. So with Leonard, or it was just a weird week last week. So I don't know. But if we start to see that elevated usage for White, that's really going to hurt Uncle Lenny. So going to have some concerns there. But I do like Lenny. Miles Sanders priced up a little bit based off of last week. Again, I don't like chasing that. Here's an interesting one. Dalvin Cook here. We already talked about this being a really good running back matchup. I just want to see the targets. He got 22 touches last week. Let's see. Alexander Madison, he only got 3. So, you know what? They're still giving all the looks to Dalvin here. And at Chicago, massively favored. If this isn't a spot for the running game, Saquon Barkley just destroyed them. I don't really know where else to go with it. There's another really interesting dichotomy on FanDuel this week, and that's between the price of Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. And it's funny because I'm not even sure that Damian Harris is ahead of Ramondre. It's not that different. Ramondre is kind of a 1A. Harris seems to get a little bit more work, but it's not that dramatic. I do like this game environment for New England at home. They're going to try to run that football a ton, so I'm interested in that discrepancy. And I guess if I have to play a running back from that game, it's probably going to be Ramondre just to save the 1,200. Khalil Herbert is an underdog. I don't mind Khalil Herbert if he gets a full start. No matter what's going on for the Bears, they're going to continue to try to run the football. He disappointed a lot of people last week. So what? He didn't actually have a bad game. 19 carries. There wasn't a lot of passing game work, but he had 7 yards, 19 carries. Okay. If he gets a touchdown, no one's complaining. 3 more receptions we needed also, or a touchdown. Didn't get any of it. That's how it goes. But he's not making the lineup. I want to go cheaper with the RB2 spot. Alvin Kamara, not sure about his health. Rashad Penny, again, terrible. Priced up, feels very, very chasey. Connor, bad matchup against the Eagles as an underdog. Najee Harris, horrible matchup against Buffalo. But it starts to get interesting from here. So one player that I'm mildly interested in is Breece Hall. Again, not going to make my sort of this version of a lineup, But let's keep an eye on Breece Hall. He seems to be taking over as a prime starter for the Jets. That is a good scene, but I would rather have running backs on teams that are favored, which brings us to Jeff Wilson Jr., who continues to get a nice little workload, plenty of targets, plenty of carries. He does cede, especially goal line touches, to Deebo Samuel, so it's a be careful situation, but I want to keep him in mind. I think he's of interest. Another player we can take a look at is Devin Singletary. And actually, I'm gonna pop Devin Singletary into the lineup. And you might, Kevin, that's gross. Listen, we can change our minds and we can pay up for a running back. Let's see how it goes. But Devin Singletary, massively favored running back, been getting more and more usage. The team could run a little bit more. My biggest concern would be even if they run a little bit more in this game, and I love the passing game work. My big concern is if they run a little bit more, they might be running with Moss or some backup running back because they've run away with the game. The other one is Raheem Mostert, and you know what? I don't even mind playing Raheem Mostert here as our running back punt if you wanted to. Take a look at his carries last week. 15 carries, 3 targets. He's getting great usage for a $5,800 running back. Now they got Teddy Bridgewater in there. I don't know how much they're going to. You know what? I'm switching it. I'm putting in Mostert. Screw it. Mostert's in. All right. Let's move on. Defense. So I can't really finish out a lineup until I figure out who my defense is, more so because I want to know how much I'm going to pay. So let's try to find the cheapest, viable, actual usable defense. And it's no. Scroll. I think it might be the Patriots. Yeah, I think it might be the Patriots. Detroit's been playing well, but I don't love the Patriots defense here. I don't love any of these defenses. Nothing's popping to me on screen. If I could go up and get Miami, I probably would, but they're priced all the way at the top. Buffalo's priced all the way at the top. They're going up against a rookie. I like the matchup. I like Tampa in that matchup, but again, they're priced all the way up. So I don't love paying up. Maybe there's something to paying up on defense, but it's really hard to get one right. So Jacksonville 46. There's good defenses here to play, but we really got to pay to play. So I'd rather just take my shot on a cheaper one. And then again, if we have salary at the end, we can go to it. So let's take a look at the wide receiver position. And we start our lineup with Jalen Hurts. So I would love to get a little correlation going. And let's see where the correlative plays are. We've got A.J. Brown here at 8K. Don't love that. I don't mind it, but it's just a little expensive. Where's Devontae Smith? Let's see. Devontae Smith, 66. I like that. So I think we're going to go here. We can also use Dallas Goedert as a correlative play, but let's go with Devontae Smith. Cooper Kupp is always pretty good, and he's just a default guy that I want to play as often as possible. So I'm going to plug Cooper Kupp in there. I don't love where the salaries are, the remaining salaries, so this might not work. Look, even when you spend down one luxury spot, one 9K player, and you really got to punt hard. So let's just go through the rest of the wide receiver position real quick. Justin Jefferson, not a game environment. That's that great. GPP only. Stephon Diggs, again, should smash, but team might not need him. Tyreek Hill, different quarterback than usual. A.J. Brown just priced up a little bit. Marquise Brown's fine. Christian Kirk, I like. I mentioned that earlier. 7,700, though, is a little spendy for him. A guy I love here, and he's such a good value. You can't pass it up, is Deebo Samuel. Again, reclaiming that role that did so well for him scoring-wise last year. Let's see who else we've got at the wide receiver position. DK Metcalf, rough matchup. CeeDee Lamb, probably going to see some Jalen Ramsey in coverage. Got Amari Cooper down there. Browns, Jacoby Brissett. I guess Amari Cooper's, interesting. Chris Godwin's very interesting. I thought he came back last week and did fine. I don't mind plugging him into that last spot, but let's continue to look here. Olave, yeah, little priced up for what he's been doing. Brandon Cooks, okay. Terry McLaurin with no Jahan Dotson. Terry McLaurin might be the sneaky play of the week. I'm going to say it right now. Like, he hasn't had a good game in years. I always think maybe this is the time. Drake London pricing down correctly. Russell Gage, no. Gabriel Davis. This is a play I'm excited about. So Isaiah McKenzie has the concussion. Gabriel Davis hasn't done shit. He is the ultimate. At this point, no one's going to want to play Gabriel Davis, but he's a touchdown scorer. And that's what wins on FanDuel. Touchdown scorers. So let's keep in mind. I'm definitely keeping Gabriel Davis in my pool this week. I guess Michael Gallup at 6K has some interest as well. And Isaiah McKenzie, if he actually played, would be kind of interesting. Beyond that, we've got cheat code Curtis Samuel. I don't dislike this play at all. He gets enough targets that he could pop off for 15, 17 fantasy points. And that's all he needs at that price point. Again, no Jahan Dotson, I think, does help Curtis Samuel. So I think we have a few different ways we can go in terms of saving. And as a matter of fact, I'm kind of thinking that I'd love to upgrade elsewhere, which means I think we need to pay down on one of these spots. And what if, let's see, actually, let's plug in the tight end first. And then we'll say, what if we use Dallas Goedert, for example, as our correlative play with Jalen Hurts, right? And so now I could take out Devontae Smith and maybe put in someone like a Curtis Samuel, or even get crazy with, I do want Cooper Kupp though. Yeah, that leaves us 77.5. So let's say I put him in there. Yeah, now we're left with 6K, which puts us back onto like a Ramondre Stevenson type of player or a Devin Singletary. So basically, as I look at the way the salaries fall this week, kind of no matter what we do, if you're going to spend up for Cooper Kupp, and Deebo Samuel's almost like you almost have to play Deebo at that price, then you're going to end up with having to punt the RB2. I don't hate it, though. I'm going to plug Ramondre, and I think he's got upside. I love this matchup for the New England running backs. I know this doesn't look, names-wise as sexy as you might think, but let's take a second look. All right, we got Jalen Hurts, elite quarterback, stacking him with his tight end, Dallas Goedert. We're avoiding the correlative play here because we don't need it. I don't need Arizona to be having a great game for Jalen Hurts to have a good game. Then we've got Dalvin Cook up against Chicago. Great matchup for running backs. Raheem Mostert up against the Jets. Good matchup for running backs. Curtis Samuel getting a ton of volume. Deebo Samuel, a touchdown machine. Ramondre Stevenson, and New England Patriots defense running back correlation. I love it. This is your FanDuel first look lineup, NFL Week 5. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification. Bing, ring the bell. You can ring that bell. You can ring the bell. Ring it. We are doing a showdown breakdown on Wednesday. Not sure what time, but it'll be on Wednesday evening. Breaking down the big Thursday game this week. Who the heck is even playing on Thursday? I don't even know. Colts at Denver. Denver number 4 on the Statsational Power Rankings. What is going on here with Denver? They're a great actual pass defense. Be careful of the passing game for the Colts. And so we're taking a look at that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We've got tournament tactics on Friday. We got the game plan with bets with John Statation, Alessia. You got to be here. You got to subscribe. Check it out. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck this week.